Cindy from Nigeria. As a Christian, why is speaking in tongues important? Why must all Christians have it? Yeah. 1 Corinthians chapter 14 in verse 4 says, he that speaketh in an unknown tongue edifieth himself. Wouldn't you like to edify yourself? Anyone who speaks in tongues edifies himself. That means he builds himself like an edifice. He charges himself like a battery. See, so you don't wear out, you don't run out of power, because always you have this self-building process in your spirit. Now, if you also would read in that 1 Corinthians chapter 14, I want to read something to you there from verse 14. For if I pray in an unknown tongue, my spirit prayeth, but my understanding is unfruitful. My spirit prayeth. See, when we pray in an unknown tongue, it's our spirit that's praying. It says my understanding is unfruitful, which means it's not through my mind, it's through my spirit. In other words, when you pray in tongues, you activate your spirit. How do you like to do that? Every Christian ought to do that. Every Christian should want to get blessed. Every Christian should like to activate his spirit, should like to pray from his spirit. When you pray in your own language, you are praying in your understanding, because you understand what you're saying. See that? Now, it says, for if I pray in an unknown tongue, my spirit prayeth, but my understanding is unfruitful. It says, I don't understand what I'm saying. Then in verse 15, what is it then? So what am I going to do? It says, I will pray with the spirit, and I will pray with the understanding also. You see, praying with the spirit is more important than praying with your understanding. So he says, I will pray with the spirit first. I will pray with the understanding also. It's that with the understanding that is the also. You notice that? So praying in your own language or in your native tongue is less important than praying in the spirit. Now I'll go on. It says, what is it then? I'll pray with the spirit, and I'll pray with the understanding also. I will sing with the spirit, and I will sing with the understanding also. Now, Paul was an exceptional leader in the Christian church. Now I want you to listen to what he said about speaking in tongues. In verse 18, he says, I thank my God, I speak with tongues more than ye all. Can you imagine that? He said, I speak with tongues more than ye all. He was talking to the church in Corinth, where there was an abundant supply of the gift of the Spirit. Every Christian should want to pray in tongues. It's very, very important because of what it does for you. See, if you don't do it, then you lose all that. You miss all the benefits. Why would you?